There's something most of us get fundamentally wrong about people who refuse to quit. We think they're superhuman. We think they were born different, blessed with some genetic lottery ticket that makes failure impossible. But psychology tells us something far more interesting. The people who never give up aren't special because they don't feel pain. They're extraordinary because they feel it differently. They process setback, rejection, and loss through an entirely different psychological lens than the rest of us. And once you understand how their minds actually work, you'll realize that resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you can build. This is the psychological breakdown of 7 invisible traits that separate those who quit from those who somehow, against all odds, keep moving forward. The first secret is that people who never give up have mastered what psychologists call cognitive reframing. When something goes wrong, most people interpret it as a referendum on their entire identity. You failed, so you are a failure. You got rejected, so you are unlovable. But the brains of relentless people work differently. They automatically separate the event from themselves. They failed at the task, not at being human. This isn't positive thinking dressed up in new language, it's a genuine neurological difference in how they process adversity. Their brain doesn't collapse the failure inward, it keeps it external, manageable, fixable. That single shift in perspective is the difference between someone who tries once and someone who tries 1,000 times.
Here's what most people don't realize. The people who never give up feel just as much pain, frustration, and doubt as everyone else. But they've developed what psychologists call emotional tolerance. Their nervous system doesn't escalate discomfort into panic. They can sit with disappointment without needing to escape it immediately. Most people quit not because the goal is impossible, but because the emotional weight becomes unbearable. But these individuals have trained their psychology to metabolize difficult emotions without them spiraling into hopelessness. They've learned to be uncomfortable and keep moving anyway.
The third secret might surprise you. People who never give up aren't perfectionists about everything. They're perfectionists about one thing, their commitment to the vision. They're relaxed about methods, flexible about timelines, but absolutely rigid about the outcome they're moving toward. Psychology shows that this selective perfectionism is what separates obsession from obsessive compulsion. It's focused, directional, and immune to distraction. Most people scatter their energy across too many battles. These people narrow their focus with laser precision. Your internal narrative determines your psychology. People who never give up have rewritten their personal story. They don't tell themselves, "I'm trying." They tell themselves, "I'm the kind of person who figures things out." That shift from action to identity is enormous. Psychology research shows that when your identity becomes tied to persistence, quitting feels like betraying yourself, not just the goal. Your identity becomes more powerful than any external circumstance. Rejection means something entirely different to the relentless. Instead of feeling like exclusion, it feels like information. They've psychologically reframed rejection as feedback, not judgment. This simple reinterpretation removes the emotional sting and converts it into data they can use. Psychology confirms that this cognitive shift is learnable, trainable, and transformative. People who never give up have learned something crucial. Your environment shapes your psychology more than your willpower ever could. They surround themselves with others who've endured similar struggles, who understand that quitting isn't an option. This psychological community becomes your reinforcement system, making persistence feel normal instead of exceptional. The seventh and final secret is time perspective. People who never give up think in decades, not days. Psychology shows that this temporal shift completely changes how you interpret short-term failure. One rejection isn't the story, it's a single sentence in a much longer narrative. That psychological distance from the present moment is where true resilience lives.